So let's maybe just start by looking at the spaceship. There's already temperature in the heat pipes, in the heat exchangers, and there's steam in the steam turbines. So the energy is secured. There's also, of course, solar panels to kickstart things and accumulators to store the power. And I basically now need to set up the ammunition production and the production of fuel. I need both turret ammunition or gun turret ammunition and rockets for the rocket turrets. So there will be quite a lot to do. I don't know if I will always have 2 of those ice smelting factories. They do have another speed beacon there, so they would be accelerated in what they do. And I wonder whether I have designed this in a good way. Maybe it just works. Not sure if that was on camera or just in my free time. But this gets rid of the too much... what's it called? Calcite? And the ice is also taken off that belt if there's already enough on that belt. And I think there needs to be some way probably to throw down all that stuff. I want to basically be able to keep some calcite in the hub. But also some of the calcite would be used in a foundry. Or maybe even 2 foundries. I don't know yet. Might also set up more research. I guess every 13 minutes or so a research is done. So now 320,000 divided by 17,500. I don't quite know what that is. I think it's still lower than 20. Maybe it's something like 16 to 18 minutes per mining productivity research. I wish I knew how many resources in total went into that research. Then I could somehow calculate whether it was worth it for the additional productivity. I wonder whether I should maybe turn up the music a bit more. I will see. I might turn this up a little bit. Okay, now there's suddenly music, just so we can hear what we are setting here. Just a bit higher. I like the space music, and now we can mostly hear the space music because I'm in space. I'm that character there, although I guess I can't set my personal color right now. I don't think it would be orange. I think that's just the icon for the player. Might be visible in the Factoriopedia. I already set up my regular number thingy that checks whether the red number is lower than the green number, which means basically red is what is on the belt. Yes, it reads the belt here. And the green is what I would like to stay on the belt. Or what I would like to not be collected. I might still increase those numbers maybe. But I would have to do it for all of them. I wish I could easily do it for all of them. Maybe there's a way. Might set something else and compare against that other thing. I'm not sure if that works. I guess all of these asteroid collectors would only ever capture the oxide asteroids at the moment, because that is what's lacking. I mean, we could see that in a few seconds there if the arm extends to get that oxide chunk. It does. Good. And here I have used inserters to carry the signal. Basically as a replacement power pole. I could have used power poles, of course, but I usually never send power poles to space, but I should maybe send some substations. I need to check what kind of substations are available. Maybe I will just send the blue ones, the rare ones. I'll also try to set up more recycling of the normal ones and green ones, or any recycling at all. I think there isn't any yet. And this might be changed a bit. I will also do some other things today. I will not only do things on the space platform. So now I need to basically extend to there. Wait for the autosave to distract me. And then any recycler nearby that I could copy, I will just copy that. And I might have to use a different something. I think I will also move this so I can do a bit better what I want with the recycler. I want to use a higher quality recycler there. And also I could use higher quality modules. I don't know if there is a epic one yet. I guess I should just use the rare one. I probably mostly send the rare ones. Let me just check. This is probably the wrong network. This is my Fulgora base. It's mostly bot based. Except for a few areas where I wanted to basically couple logistics into one place. And this is basically a mess to look at. It's not really nice. I don't know how it is without alt mode. Even less informative or less chaotic as well, but yeah, things are happening here. And I wanted to figure out what kind of recyclers I have. I have 194 epic recyclers, but I could still just send around the blue ones anyway. But I would have to actually organize that if I wanted to send those ones. Maybe I have to actually order them down. There's a pin. I just need to actually find this and replace this, and only now get those purple ones. Good. And then I could just look at Glebber for fun, because I haven't looked at this for a while. There's some pollution going on. There's probably a little spawner, but my defensive arrangements have held. so far. Some kills by those turrets. More by these ones. Maybe I should focus more. You can also see right there, up there, the big Stomper Pentapod shells. Or small Stomper Pentapod shells. Okay, I guess small and big and medium are the different sizes. Something happened. I guess something was removed maybe or placed. 10, 10, 1, I guess. Okay, the smaller one has the same yields, but I don't know if it's a certain chance or if it's still just that number. I hope this will continue running. I don't know if any of these seeds are ever going to be dropped into the heating towers. Yeah, I guess so. But only if they are more than 400. I wonder if I have the same arrangement for the other seeds. Maybe somewhere else. Maybe not. Or maybe there's a different kind of thing that is happening. I guess they are sent via a belt into the heating towers. And then they are burned there, yes. They are coming from this belt. Anyway, I was distracted by a bunch of things, and I wanted to actually work on recycling those substations. I will just let the normal ones go this way. And I might just recycle any and all substations. Maybe I will set a limit on when this recycler will work. But I'm not sure yet. Maybe even 100 or 150. They can be more than what it is right now. Because it works quite quickly, I guess. It's already... okay, this has a different kind of filter. Or the wrong kind of setting. Because I copied it from the accumulators. This doesn't always, or maybe just rarely, throw out normal items into this chest. Most of the normal items land in the machine actually. So I could also remove that for now. But I'm not entirely sure where I will start or how. I guess I will just remove, like this, all of those engines. And then I will do this. I will switch this to uncommon. And the other one might be rare substations. And then I can just feed that. I might even have another recycler there that would be recycling the uncommon ones. So I get at least rare. I don't think I should have a passive provider chest there. This can just be a steel chest. Same there, probably. For now. Because I don't want things to be stolen by robots for other purposes, then there might be an imbalance at some point. And there's still a bit to do here. I will just ask for uncommon substations right there. Wait. I should have actually put them into this request slot. Okay, and now I will have another, I guess I might just copy this inserter and set it to uncommon instead. And then I will copy that over and say not uncommon, so not equals. And this again should be not passive provider chests. I might even have a purple quality thing somewhere, but for now I will just let the purple stuff go into that chest. It might take a while until that spills over. But at least I will get a lot more rare and epic substations now that I eventually want to send to Aquilo. I also want to look at nuclear reactors. We have some uncommon ones. Steam turbines. Well, some uncommon ones as well. And heat exchangers. There are some purple ones, many blue ones actually. So maybe I could use some of those. I will also turn off pollution soon. I don't need to see the pollution most of the time. It's just a big red blob. I don't know if you have seen that last time, but I built some big tree farms here. And also I found a way to make the tree farms not be disturbed by a rail line going through there. Just flying over the top of the belts. Even over this machine, that's quite a distance. Probably that's the maximum distance I can have. And then it sort of goes in there, but I eventually want to build a better train system. I don't know if I mentioned a kind of rail bus where there will be many trains, many little trains acting as belts, sort of, as flexible belts. Anyway, I guess that's a project for another day. I might build that in this kind of area, or starting from down here. hope all of these machines work. It's sometimes difficult to investigate that at a glance from the distance. But I guess they are all working. I had the idea of making that a bit more compact. This line in the middle doesn't have to be there, but then I would have to stop using requester and provider chests there. I would have to do even more extreme belt weaving. Probably have a red belt going through there and maybe on the other side as well. Or just on one side, I think that could still work. And I don't know if I have shown you this, but I'm using different qualities of these electromagnetic science packs because I have all the quality grinding on Fulgora and therefore also all kinds of qualities of sciences. Oh, and if you see on the right, it's quite disturbing. Everything is tried to be lower than 8,000, so everything that goes above 8,000 will be immediately recycled. That is sort of where you can see many random items in these chests. I don't know if I could show anything that makes sense. This is basically the same. These output signals basically say what needs to be recycled right away. I guess gear wheels are always recycled first. That's the most output I get from scrap. By now this should be properly balanced, but of course I get a lot of stuff that I don't really want and don't really need. But it should still just work fine. And these inserters basically try to get what is the most item in a chest, and then they switch their filters to that. And that way I can use stack inserters and they don't get stuck with anything. Apparently nothing much stays in that chest, maybe because that belt is mostly empty, or it gets emptied earlier than others. But I digress and I get distracted again. I will look at the substations again. Thank you for following. I want to look at the substation production. Over the last last hour. So there hasn't been much substation production in a while, but it has accelerated a lot. Probably because I'm recycling a lot of these substations that I'm producing. Normally they wouldn't be burned away so quickly. And I want to look again because I am forgetful of what I'm actually trying to look up. And yes, there are now a lot of blue and purple substations that have been produced. So I might also just request them. Probably the blue ones for now. By double-clicking this, I wanted to delete the requests for construction, which for some reason were all at 0, which is kind of useless. I mean, it just showed me what has been requested in the past, but I don't really need to know. And it's just visual clutter. Maybe I will request 100 of those. And maybe still some more substations. No, what are they called? Accumulators and solar panels. I need a lot of those for Aquilo. Can I see? Yeah, I will also... This is already the Aquilo equipment. Hello. Okay, I will just write equipment. I think that is very Aquilo equipment. And I will ask for probably 500. And maybe first I should actually build the rocket turrets and stuff, instead of already planning what I order. I guess I could just do both in a way. And I always have to check what is actually available on this planet. Let me check. That would be rocket turret. I have 28 rare rocket turrets. So I guess I will just be confused and do that again, because I want to find out. Yeah, the rocket capacity is 10, so I can send up 20 without getting disturbed by the stack size. Cargo landing pad, that is actually not what I wanted to do. I'm not requesting any rocket turrets, or am I? I am. Why am I doing this? Okay, I understand now. Don't do it. I am requesting rocket turrets because, of course, I wanted to have rocket turrets on Novus even before I produced them on Novus, just to get the captivity done remotely. I think I did only do that remotely. I didn't capture the biter nests myself. So I will now request some blue rocket turrets. Probably also some purple gun turrets. 20 of those. Might even try to find more on, or better ones on Glebber. I don't know what kinds of rocket turrets would be produced there, if any. And now gun turrets. Epic. 50 seems reasonable. There are 210 still available on Novus. I do have all those epic assembling machines. Do I have any foundries? I will need foundries. And I guess I could just send up 5 or something like that. I don't know if 5 would be enough. Possibly. Yeah. Back to this ship. And requesting some epic foundries. Possibly just 5 or 10, maybe just 10. And I should request them from Novus. I hope they will stay in this ship and not leave. Just because Novice is requesting them. I hope this overrides that request, because I'm requesting them from Novice. It's good that I also have offshore pumps already there. I will have another thing there. I can't just move it to another group. I have to basically set it up again. But this offshore pump is basically something that I only will need once I'm on Aquilo and not on the spaceship itself. I guess I will also have to ask for some electromagnetic plants eventually, so I will just do that right now. Probably 20, but yeah, I guess that's fine. It's a full stack, I would say, but it's 4 rockets that have to go up. If I'm remembering this correctly, yes, rocket capacity 5, stack size 20. Anyway, what else? Probably some inserters. Maybe a few more of those. I want to look at Novice again, inserter production. I guess I'm still not recycling any of the uncommon bulk inserters. Eventually I need to make this all belt-based. If I make the chest be stuck in the middle of something and nothing can escape this square, then I have lost everything. Or basically I couldn't get out the epic quality ingredients and make them go into another machine that produces epic bulk inserters. But I could make these inserters slightly better. Right? Then this is at least a bit faster. And I will just now recycle the uncommon bulk inserters as well. Just need to request them. And then I get more good ingredients. Might even have another machine that does this stuff right there. And that way I can get even more rare and epic bulk inserters finally, because I never took these 5 minutes or 2 minutes even and set this up. But now I did, and now I don't really have to worry anymore about only having uncommon bulk inserters available. Hopefully now higher qualities will be more available. This is still just slightly ridiculous. I guess I could speed this up a bit. Possibly these inserters are now the bottleneck. So I will try to upgrade this a little bit. And this might just be a bulk no, a stack inserter. That's actually a stack inserter. And then I will basically wait for 16 assembling machines to assemble in this inserter, and then it will be thrown out, as you see in this little animation there with the increasing stack. It's nice to see. I wonder if the yellow stuff might be eventually a bottleneck, so I will just try to speed this up a bit, get more input in there. Wait, this is correct. Hopefully. Right now there's only the speed that's not perfect. I guess I could speed this up as well. Same with that other machine. Maybe after I have been to Aquilo, maybe even after I have set up the Prometheum processing, only then will I overhaul this whole factory. It will not be a grid forever, I guess, or at least I will have some parallel structure where I try out this train bus idea that I had, but there will be some inventions to be had before I can do that. I'll have to come up with a properly working waiting system, and I guess there will be depots all over the place for trains that can just sit there and wait for something to happen close to them. This is also still mostly bot-based, with the wood going to the heating towers. But I guess the heat makes it so that I don't have to use uranium fuel cells. Except up there. Maybe the heat doesn't make it through the machines that much. Are those machines not letting the power through or the heat through if they are unpowered? I don't know. The lower pipes are slightly less heated, probably because there's more heat sources at the top. And those steam turbines at the bottom are always on because these substations would always hit them anyway. And I guess these substations up there would also get the second row. You can see the blue corners that show what the substation is actually looking at. I might set up 2 more researches at the end. I will see whether I will swap them eventually. I have to look at my productivity module numbers. So there are 1000 purple ones of the module 3. And I'm mostly just recycling all the other ones, except I keep some of the rare module 3s. I guess that's fine. And I'm still not properly working on getting the ship built. But eventually, I guess there's always something I do in between. So, I guess I'll just build one foundry. I might even try to set it up in a way that uses changing of recipes. I find it kind of weird that I can see all this gray stuff around here. Okay, that's because it's green. Is it the hub that shows the green? I don't know. I don't know why it's green. Maybe I should know, but I don't. So for now this could be iron ore melting. I might have to set up pumps. Pumps with filters. Something like this as well. Well, that might be interesting. I'm just trying this out because I like that I can do it potentially if I'm able to. So one of them will get iron, molten iron. The other one will get molten copper. And then I will have storage tanks at either end. Not sure how wise it is to have them both at the same level, so I can never use that pipe location. But it might be fine. I just need iron ore and copper ore coming in there. And I also don't know what would happen if okay, I guess I know what happens. But I don't know what to do about it. So if the recipe changes to smelting copper, then the remaining iron ore and calcite would go into the output slots in some kind of trash slot. Then I might have to do something with it again. I have to check whether that can actually work. Yeah, now I need to... I will try to set up the recipe change circuit. This might be a bit complicated. I will probably need some constant combinator. Maybe I will just need multiple cider combinators. So I guess these two recipes need to be there. Might also just put one there, I don't know. Okay, that's just molten iron, the item. Should just pick that from there. That's interesting. I wonder if I could do anything here. Like that, basically, or with this melting recipe. Input count. I don't know if input count would matter. I'm just basically brainstorming right now. I have no idea yet how I would set this up actually. I will have to see the contents of these storage tanks. Might also try to have the other combinator. I don't know if I have it on here. Maybe I need to import it basically. So I will just place one there and it will be delivered. Right there you can see 50 of them will be delivered. I don't really care about rocket costs at the moment anymore, so we will see. And I might even use some selector combinators on Aquilo eventually. So it's not really that much of a loss. I also don't want to use too much of the area up here. There will be mostly the space for rockets or rocket turrets and gun turrets. Maybe I won't have too many on the side, I'm not sure. Mostly I want to defend the ship, so turrets will be mostly centered around the middle. Also some middle back, so I can hit asteroids that come from the side. I guess if you are standing, the asteroids could even come from the back and hurt your thrusters. I will now request some repair packs just in case. Current music reminds me of music that I heard in the game Reassembly, where you also build spaceships. Anyway. Select input. Seems to be reasonable. I don't quite know. I have to somehow associate. I have to somehow associate the level of molten iron with getting the molten iron ore recipe, or the iron ore melting recipe. Right now I sort of have a blackout in my head or something like that, and I don't really know how I would set that up ideally. Might just move this around, and in the meantime I could set up the splitting and the whatever is happening there for iron related stuff and copper related stuff. Just have to change the recipe to metallic asteroid crushing, and then I have to change all the filters. Copper ore and iron ore. I could basically, well, maybe not quite copy this, but this would just be the metallic asteroid chunk there. That is thrown out again. Now I'm basically producing iron and copper ore. Eventually I have to deal with getting rid of that again. I think there might be a way there. Might have to measure what's already on that belt. Okay, I think I can do it like this. Or should I do it like that? Really not sure. Okay. There needs to be some calcite. And I guess I could also put those productivity modules in there. Then I will get more for less. Okay, there will be a decider combinator, I think. I have to check. Do I need one? Maybe I don't need one. I just need to do a cable thing. And then connect that belt. Read the contents. And then copy that over there. I guess if that is over 140, then the inserter can do its job. Maybe that's not actually what I want, or is it? I think it's fine, because the copper ore is removed from the outputs of the machine. That should be just what I need. I might also want to boost this rusher. So then this is happening faster. Eventually I might need more fastness. I don't know if I could set up a system easily with just one decider combinator that basically says if molten iron is lower than molten copper, produce molten iron, and if molten copper is lower or the same, then produce molten copper. Don't know if such a design is possible with just one decider combinator. This is probably not how it works. I think I might need two machines and then set them up opposite each other. Basically, yeah. Let's connect both of these things. And then one of them will be... I guess I will actually have to put molten iron in here and molten copper. And then just do a negative thing. Or I would have to do something with two. With, I would have to use the index 1 there. But if there's nothing in the machine, it wouldn't actually do anything. So that's why I will set up 25,000 there. And then I will have to subtract. So I will have to send up some arithmetic combinators. I guess that's all the combinators up here. I never really used or I didn't really use many of the display panels. Maybe I should do that eventually as well. Now I basically want to do the same thing here for iron ore. So this should be iron ore. I guess I could easily... Wait, I still have to connect it there. Has to get the same information basically. And now I can change this to iron ore. For some reason there's less iron ore, probably because this belt is bent. And then just throw iron ore off the ship. Since it's too much. Now I want to check those numbers there. Still have a bunch too much the carbonic asteroid chunks. It's nice to see these differently colored ore clouds. Let's just move these mining productivities ahead and do one more. It's always my preferred research at the moment. I could still do some of the steel researches, but I don't really know. They are quite long lasting. They take a long time to do. This is the arithmetic combinator. Okay, I will have iron ore on the right, actually, and copper ore on the left. And input priority right. I wonder whether that will ever work. Whether there's any chance for this working. But I first still have to subtract. I guess I will have to subtract green from red. This is how this is done. Minus red, minus green. I guess I will have to say each. And then output each. And then we can see one signal is actually there. And then I want to go to that combinator, but I will just remove it and add it again, because it doesn't need those other inputs anymore. And that is any color. I don't know if I could set or should set the color. of the outputs. It can just have one output anyway, I guess. So it doesn't matter. And then I still have to use a decider combinator. I think this one basically... Maybe I could do it with input count. But maybe not. Would somehow have to convert from molten iron to the recipe. But I might also just try to do this and then set recipe. It doesn't work. At least not now. Or is there anything that I'm missing? I guess I have to somehow convert the molten iron to the specific molten iron calcite recipe. And now I also see that I could do that same thing with calcite here, but on a shorter belt. Basically this... I am attaching to the belt. Doesn't look like it. It looks like I'm attaching to the inserter. But this will read. And if there is calcite, if there's any calcite on the belt, the inserter doesn't need to do anything there. Enable only if, I guess I could say lower than 4 or maybe 12, which would be 3 stacks already. So right now it can work. I don't know what happens because both recipes contain calcite, so potentially I don't even need to output calcite. I don't know if that would then also move into the trash output. I will have to see once I can actually do anything here. Hello, Kana. Thank you for being first and hydrating me. Have a good look. I guess I have to basically just build 2 of these machines, combinators. I'll just remove that one to have less visual clutter and potentially add another one up there. I might set it up first before I connect the outputs. So, if molten copper, then output molten copper, the ore melting. Input count? No, there is no input count, because this is a different icon or item than the molten copper item. And basically I have to do the same there, just with iron. Just one to the left on each list of items. I guess this wasn't yet connected. Now I will disconnect that again. And then this. Why wouldn't you change the recipe now? Something is still not connected. So something doesn't work there, or something isn't the way I would like it to be. Why is this iron ore melting? I guess I have some substations up here that I'll just use that temporarily to see what output there should be. It should be that. And I don't know why it doesn't change. Is it because output full? I wouldn't think that should be the case. I guess I could say recipe finished with F. And then I could just do it with green to make the cable management even more difficult. And F. Greater than 0, I guess. But maybe that's just not useful at all. That will just make the output disappear, which is not what I want. I will remove that F again. Maybe I don't even need that. Can't remove it like this. Am I removing this? Maybe I did that. I'll just for fun connect an inserter with a cable. It doesn't do anything. Can I set not a recipe? And then set recipe. Okay, now it changed the recipe. I wonder whether I had to actually... Yeah, I wondered whether I had to actually go to a 0 recipe, and also now I have a problem here with too much iron ore. I am not sure what to do about it. I'll just remove the belts and replace them. Ideally, this would never be too full. And I have to check whether this actually does what it needs to do. And this is basically only for iron ore and copper ore. I want to eventually convert the copper ore to copper plates, or the molten copper to copper plates, just for yeah, for the ammo, for the basically ammo tier 2. And I'm already thinking that I might have just one more foundry dedicated to all of these 3 items. I guess there's nothing more than these 3 items. And I might do a similar system, and I hope that it will work. Might even be more complicated, but also maybe less. I sort of think that I could have done that behind the hub. But also, I don't really know. I wonder whether I can have both molten iron and molten copper going into a foundry, and then only what actually needs to be going in there will be put in there. And ideally things would go out again if they can. Back into where they came from. Anyway. This has a recipe. I sort of want to do it behind. Even if I will have to place a few long pipes. Underground pipes. I guess I will see how I will have to modify this at some point. Another thing that I might do, which is a bit overkill, is have another tank there. And now it switches to iron ore. Which also is an interesting thing to do. Now it's at copper ore again, because the copper is slightly lower than the iron. I can even see the total numbers potentially. 16,750 and that's 16,500. Okay. And it even turns off. Why does it turn off? There's still calcite in there. This has output signals. The molten iron should be the output signal. Why does this not set anything? And I see now another opportunity. I can just place a copper pipe there. Basically let this go down in parallel. Almost. With some different styles. And maybe I might just move this over a bit, although I will first just remove the recipe from this. And I hope if I change the recipe there that I can still do things. I might also let the belt here go a bit further, just so I don't come too close to what I'm building up there. Okay. Okay, now the loop is a bit longer, which might allow for more stuff to be collected. Eventually I might also try to actually build a thing that recycles or reshuffles the asteroids and checks which is the most. Apparently carbonic is the most. Might even do that now. Somewhere like here. Okay, there cannot be any productivity in this machine. And I will measure whether there are enough carbonic asteroids on the belt. Let's say 80. Now it's green. I thought there are many on the belt. I guess they're all in a row, therefore difficult to grab. At least now the number is going down. Okay, I'm basically transporting molten iron and molten copper down here, just so I can freely decide what I want to do with them. And I would have 3 different factories, or no, 3 different belts that are leading to different factories. I could maybe just draw a little sketch with already placed machines. So I will need to build firearm magazines anyway. And I will also need to make the next tier of magazines. I mean, I don't really need that, but I want to basically just upgrade them because I can. I would hope that overall they use less resources per shot. 8 plus 22.4. 5 plus 14. I guess I would have to search for my calculator to find out whether that's a good ratio. But also there are quite a lot of different resources being used. I guess they changed this recipe at some point. it was 4 copper plates at some point. Maybe even 1 firearm magazine only. And maybe it only returned 1 piercing rounds. But that might have been a long time ago. I think this will all go on the left side. Anyway, I need also eventually... I guess I need to have iron ore also going down. I might just do that now. Even with copper... I might also let some iron ore and copper ore get into the hub at some point, if I want more ore basically just from space. I don't know how useful that is or how necessary, but that's an option. This might be where I could set up the fuel. I am also thinking that this is not a good idea. I don't really need the copper ore anywhere. So I will just temporarily remove that again and possibly try to build that differently. Right now I'm thinking maybe something died at some point, but no, good. Just sometimes need to check if I'm idling and don't see any notifications. And sometimes things can happen. So one idea would be having iron ore coming out of somewhere. Potentially I could just steal iron ore from there. Possibly even with an underground belt. Okay, this looks promising. I would just have the calcite filter there. And then I need an iron ore filter there. Good, now we have both of these things. And I only need carbon for the... I think it's the fuel, the thruster fuel, and the oxidizer is made with iron ore. And then I need to also do sulfur and carbon. Basically produce coal down there. It's good that I could send water down through this place. I have to check. Coal synthesis needs water in a chemical plant. And then we have explosives, also needs water in a chemical plant. And later I can use a cryogenic plant. Possibly I will edit this ship once it is available. I wonder how thin I could make this ship eventually. This might be my first version and I might then later build a second, more compact version. But for now I want to experiment a bit, especially with the changing recipes. I need to basically figure out whether I waste more space with weird contraptions and combinators, but I can always try to fit them in between little holes where I otherwise couldn't fit anything, like here. There I could fit the pipes. I guess I'm not that good at optimizing and throwing overboard old plans and ideas. Basically reshuffling the whole factory all the time because I sometimes fear losing progress, losing things that already worked at one point. Maybe I can look at this machine again. Okay, there's definitely one of them that needs to be produced more. And I have to... I guess I could set this to W. Still connected. And working W, I have to set W equals 0, which means it's not working right now. If it's not working, I want to set the recipe. And W equals 0, which is not true. Although I don't know if I can do anything there. Sets the recipe from the first valid recipe signal or the first valid item signal or the first valid entity signal. I don't know what all of this could be. Normally I would expect this to know just do things. This looks a bit better. Sometimes the cables are difficult to see. Maybe I just need to try and produce something down there, and only then might I be able to actually do anything with it. I will basically have the same kind of deal again down there somewhere with the coal. So let's change the recipe to advanced carbonic asteroid crushing. Then we will have carbon here. And sulfur. And I need to basically, well, I'll choose this one. Already has a filter, but a wrong one. Carbonic asteroid chunks. Let's just do it already. Eventually I might also find a beacon there or place a beacon there. This beacon wouldn't reach any asteroid crusher, except if it would be placed there. I don't know if it would be too close. I'm almost thinking that I should do it. I just can't have these other outputs then. Let's just do this then. I just need to basically throw in more funnels, then make this go down. I guess I could also use the carbon and send some of it to Fulgora. So, priority left. Carbon is more important to go down here. I guess sulfur is only... Okay, no, it's used in 2 recipes. It goes down for whatever. I guess that would be the fuel recipe. Also with the iron and calcite. And I need to have the water be splittable. So this down here will be the fuel area. But I need an explosive and coal making area. Guess I just need a chemical plant for now. Let's see. This will be coal synthesis. And that just needs both of these things. It works with productivity, so I should use it if I could. Okay, this might be even 2 machines. I don't know how many I will need eventually. And then 2 more machines. For explosives. And I will also use productivity modules, of course. I guess there's no place where I could put 1 beacon to power them all. I guess I would have to place everything a little bit different. But I want to power them all a bit. Sadly, there are things in the way. I think I will do something with that belt. Maybe not that, but something. Okay. It's not perfect, but it's okay. And then I will have coal going down there. And I could have multiple beacons that are powering both the foundry and this chemical plant. And then I can produce quite a bunch of coal as well. And I shall hydrate a bit more. I guess there's quite a lot of water on the ship. Okay, I have to use belt weaving, at least the way I did this now. Maybe there would be a way to do it slightly differently, but I don't really want to do it differently. Okay, I see a way to do it. Maybe I will do it anyway. So this is not how that would work, right? No, I have put the underground belt where I would need to put the inserter, but I see other ways to do things. I don't even need an underground belt there if I just use a normal belt. And now this is producing explosives on both sides. And now it would be good to get some iron plates for ammunition as well as rockets. I haven't even placed the rocket production yet. Maybe I will only start with the one with the non-explosive rockets. Then I don't need that many explosives. I might even just build on the right side of the ship and basically remove the left side. And basically make it more compact that way. Maybe that's a way to do things. So if there's space down here, I could build things there. Basically now I want iron plates. But I don't know where I want to send them. Maybe not that far. I will again need probably a constant combinator and probably, oops, that was Control X instead of Control C. I need a constant and a decider combinator somewhere. And also probably the other ones. Selector and arithmetic combinator. But in a different configuration probably. Although let's see. For now this will be removed. This needs to have other things. No, not like this. I guess red and green. I always forget which kind of color combination I use. I guess I did it the same way as up here. The red belt is going towards the belt reader. Did I say the red belt? I meant the red cable. Okay, one stack inserter. Use filters iron plates. Guess I did miss 2 researches being finished. I guess I could just say 100 iron plates. Maybe also 50 steel plates and 50 copper plates. I might not even have to make anything with copper yet, but it's good to produce it anyway. I wonder if it would be a good idea to even send copper and iron ore that you harvested on your space trip to Aquilo and then build everything on Aquilo directly without having to import some things. I mean, you still have to import certain things, but what if you just send mostly raw materials from space to Aquilo? Selector. Okay, there's again the minus. Is that really what I want? Maybe I did it the other way around. Right. Yeah, that's true. Now... Okay. Well, just need to rotate it. And then I get iron plates, and then I get copper plates. But there's no output for copper, which would make it in some way do something more understandable. I might just send copper plates down. Maybe I need to move this slightly. I can eventually do something else there, but for now I will keep it that way. And I need to also measure this belt. Now the output signals would be steel. I don't know why it didn't switch. I don't understand these circuit recipe change things. It should be steel. I guess just for fun and to empty this out, I will do that. Okay, now it produces steel as well. And just for fun, I will throw the copper overboard. And then remove the rest. I guess there's still some remaining stuff. Okay, there isn't. I don't see it. I thought it might land in the hub. Anyway, now I just need the steel. Although I only need it if I want to have the better ammunition. I might still want that. I don't know how many smaller and medium asteroids I will get on the journey to Aquilo. Maybe it's almost necessary to do it. Might also just be a bonus. Might just have a dummy output for steel and only later care about whether it's really necessary to have it. Okay, now the recipe is gone and it's switched to iron again. That's quite good. I might just split this somewhere, or I don't know. Might also try to have a multiple way thing. There is no... yeah, I will go to this machine, spaceship, and just copy these recipes, or these chemical plants. Although, yeah, they have different qualities. I hope the other ones don't get sent up now. They might still be on the way. Maybe I could use them somewhere. It's fine. Just because I didn't realize it early enough. We will see whether these arrive. So far there isn't any rare stuff. Yes, there are the rare chemical plants. There are the rare productivity modules. And I guess now that I'm slightly distracted from from not knowing what I will do here, I will first set up the fuel generation, which is also quite necessary. And then I know what kind of space is already occupied. Okay, we get a lot of fuel already, even in the correct positions, and I should have a beacon there to speed things up. Now that's just a bit too close together potentially to put a machine in the middle, but I might still do it anyway. The creation of rockets. Maybe even 2 machines. And then I will just have things coming in underneath. Not sure where the rockets need to go at the moment. Eventually I will have to see what is the majority of, or what is the bottleneck basically. I could try to increase the number of iron plates that need to be on that belt. And then the recipe will mostly stay alive. Or this will turn on basically whenever it needs to. But this is working rather nicely already. I don't think I could fit a machine here without ripping up the explosive production totally. But it would be nice to have another machine be affected by that beacon. I could also just have 2 beacons there. And then these machines there. And now this is slightly in the way. We'll remove the copper then, or move it slightly. So not sure how much I need to save power on the ship at the moment. This belt is rather in the way, I would say, for my ammo output. Might also do something else there. Again. Yeah, I could have 2 belts. It's a bit silly. I guess I have a different idea. It's also silly. Let me check how silly that actually is. Actually works. At least, yeah, also until there. Okay, let's just do it this way. Basically, I need to produce even more iron plates, or mostly the problem is the output. And that should be rather possible. Thank you for following. So, hello Tracy. I hope you also have a wonderful day. I'm just playing Factorio again and building the spaceship. Trying to make it very compact in certain locations. I mostly only stream on Twitch. I guess I have streamed on YouTube once. I just want to warn you, if you want to sell me something, I'm not open to that. Sometimes I have these intuitions, but you can always contradict intuitions. I'm sorry, I'm not available for feedback at the moment. I guess I could already place the gun turrets and the rocket turrets as well. I have rockets and guns. I also have thrusters available. So maybe now I need to think about what to send to Aquilo. Definitely more belts than that. I guess there will be a separate import list for all of those belts. I guess I will have 250. I need quite a lot of underground belts there. And I always need to reset the planet there. I could of course have just increased the numbers there. I guess at some point this will come back to haunt me. Mostly these items are used on the space platform, so I want to keep a separate organization there. I might even ask for the blue bulk inserters, maybe even the purple ones, but I don't have that many of them, so maybe not. Just ask for 250 of the rare ones. There are so many things necessary on Aquilo. Definitely heating towers. I need to check what kind of heating towers I have here. Well, not like this. But there's a heating tower production. And I might just have to do something with that. I might have to do some quality grinding here in a moment.